Real quick, I wanted to go over this last week, and it was an interesting article. It has nothing to do with music or sports, but it talked about Generation X characteristics that are appearing in the workplace that is differentiating us from the other generations. And I thought this was really spot on. And so I'll hit these real quick. Number one, this is Generation X is more direct. And I think this is very, very true. We seem to have the ability to speak. One thing I notice about young people, they don't know how to talk to people. I especially when they get in like a business situation or an authoritative situation, they don't know how to speak for themselves. They got all the slang lingo and the street lingo, but they don't know how to talk directly for themselves. And I've noticed this more and more and more. They don't know how to speak professionally. I pride myself on the ability to talk with you guys. We can talk sports, we can talk street, but I know how to talk in a workplace environment if I get there. And I think that's on everybody to learn that for yourself. Thoughts on that, Fish?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a lost, well, it's not a lost art, but it's more difficult because you grow up these days and you don't have to, in your personal life, you barely have to talk to anybody. Think about that.
That's a good point.
You barely talk to anybody. I mean, you could text, and communicate that way. And it's actually almost, unexpected. And, some people may even consider it rude, oddly, to call somebody versus, texting them. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So,
that's so true.
And it tends to carry over into the workplace. Obviously, we all grew up, having to communicate on the phone and in person. It's just something that we became more comfortable with. And I don't know.
I remember when I graduated college in 2008, I was very upset. I had the hardest time finding work. The highest honor that you could get in the field of criminal justice was the William P. Cannell Scholarship. I won that scholarship for excellence in criminal justice 2 years in a row. And when I graduated, I couldn't even get an interview at the William P. Cannell Justice Center, which is known as the Juvenile Center. And I won their scholarship 2 years in a row. And I was very frustrated. And I remember my wife at the time, her father was like, I don't understand. And when I explained it to him, he goes, I never thought about that, Keith. I said, listen, let me tell you something. When I was younger, I always felt that if I could get in front of somebody, I could get a job. I had that confidence in myself and my ability to speak that I knew I could get a job anywhere. Yeah. Well, when you become a lot of application online and there's no personality attached to that, you're just another number, you lose that ability. Sure. And that kind of goes on what you were saying. Good call. Okay, so another one I had, Skinner, if you want to comment on, was it said Generation X professionals embrace feedback and don't let negative feedback keep them up all night. Bible says every generation gets weaker and wiser, and these kids today cannot take feedback. They lose it. They're more suicidal, upset. They all like the lash out on social media. They're really, really weak. What do you think, Skinner?
Yeah, it's the thickness of their skin. They don't have it today.
There you go.
Our generation, we're not the baby boomers, but we're not the millennials or the Z's. We still have a backbone. We can still say what we want to say and feel how we want to feel and not worry about what anybody else thinks. The same token is if I can come to you, Keith, and say, hey, I didn't like the way you did your story last week, and here's why. You're not going to sit there and fall into a cave and go, why doesn't Skinner like me anymore? And that's what kids do today, and I don't understand where that came from.
Right. I know what you mean? What was wrong with my story?
Yeah, there you go. But I didn't raise my kids that way. I raised them to have a backbone, to accept criticism for what it's for, and you either learn from it or it's detriment to you. And you better learn from it because it makes you a better, stronger person later on.
Right.
These
Here's
kids
what
today
it's.
go into a cocoon.
Let me read just what it says underneath it. Generation X professionals embrace feedback and don't let negative feedback keep them up all night. While millennials are a bit shocked when they are hit with critical feedback, Gen Xers were raised before a time when even the losing team got a trophy. As a result, they are looking for ways to improve, not ways to be praised. Awesome. Okay. Next one says Generation Xers embrace work-life and balance. We won't go too deep into that, but I think that's very true. Our parents work very hard, and today they don't want to work at all. I think that we have a nice balance of working hard but enjoying, understanding what it means to be with friends. We spent 10 years, guys, having poker games together every Monday just to embrace downtime and friends and things like that. We still do stuff together, and I think we have a nice balance with that. The other one is they have a hybrid relationship with technology. So true. Anything above us don't want to deal with it. I saw an older gentleman in college argue with his professors because he refused to type out his papers. He wanted to write them with a pencil. He did not want to learn anything about computers. It's 2008, bud. Sorry to tell you that. And of course, with millennials, it's too much technology. It's just the constant texting, like Fish was saying, no talking to one another, no interacting with one another, playing games online with one another where we used to pile up in each other's house and play Atari all day. So they're kind of swamped with technology. We have a better balance in it. And the last one is Gen Xers are more adept at collaboration, understanding what it means to work together to make things happen. I believe we are the epitome of that. You guys comment on any of those things, Fish?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's like I think we, whether you talk about collaboration, we know you can't get the job done on your own.
Right.
I mean, almost anything. It's certainly in a workplace. It requires a team effort to be truly successful. I think along the way, we definitely have learned the importance of that, and we're not afraid to admit we don't have all the answers. We're not the smartest person in the room all the time. We need support of people that have, oftentimes, they have more knowledge and something. Whatever that
I
is.
have always felt anytime I was in a position of authority, the first thing I wanted to do is to get somebody smarter than me help working for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about even great, worker, all the great business leaders, they say the same type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Even the great coaches and all that stuff, they understand the importance of getting good people around them, leveraging different talents, different ideas, different points of view, whatever. And, I think we definitely, exactly right. Exactly right.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay. Any comments, Skinner?
I was just going to say, you should probably take this story up with Chase Claypool. The collaboration of people to get a job done. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Madonna for quite some time now. I think she's a witch. And I stay as far away from her as possible.
You think she's a witch literally?
Yes.
Or are you just saying that? Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Like witchcraft, you mean is that how she got her popularity and stuff like that?
No, okay. I guess you could say that in a roundabout way, yeah. But she practiced witchcraft, some of her performances. If you watch them very carefully, they were rituals. Done on stage, you can see the Baphomet, the black, the red. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. A little bit.
Sure,
the
songs like a virgin, and then the whole, Papa don't preach, I'm gonna have my baby anyway, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm leaving home.
Yeah,
that was a bad role model.
I mean, what do you expect from a witch? I don't know.
Point taken.
Really, if you think about it.
We have one story for world news this week, and actually we could use it for many different subjects. Millennial bashing, get off my lawn. Yeah, it's going to be some strong opinions on this one. Let me, Let me go ahead and get this up on my computer as well. Do you guys remember last year, the El Dorado fire that started back in early September?
Absolutely.
Devastated San Bernardino Valley.
El Dorado.
22,000 acres were burned up. Firefighter lost his life. Several homes were burned down, and several people were hurt. Come to find out that fire started from a gender reveal party. So the story reads, gender reveal party went wrong. Well, the first wrong thing is having a damn gender reveal party to begin with, but I'll save that for later on after I finish the story.
Don't hold back.
The couple was charged with 30 counts, including involuntary manslaughter for this firefighter who lost his life just trying to fight this fire. They set a smoke bomb off that sparked the 22,000-acre wildfire, and they used 80 pounds of explosives to show that they were having a boy or a girl. And this isn't their... So let's add insult to the injury. This isn't their first child. So they went to this extreme extravagant, say, hey, look at us. We're having kids. Why don't you come to our party and we'll tell you what we're having? Okay, here's my thought. I don't care what you're having. Tell me what you got when you guys have the kid. When the baby's born, let me know what you have. I don't need an excuse to have a party. And I think, is this a millennial thing? Is this a Gen Z thing? When did this all started? Because I talked. Marcy she just ignores me. You know how she is. We'll talk about that. Her Serenity's aunt had a gender reveal party for her third child, and I'm thinking, why does she need this? She's a single mom, 3 dads. Why are we doing this? Is it me being get off my lawn, or is there something more to this? And I want to get your guys' opinion because I don't know when this started. I don't know if this is like I said, a millennial thing, Gen Z thing. I know in our time frame, we didn't have to have an excuse to have a party. You just call you guys and say, bring some beer. And boom, we had 50 people at the house.
Am
I wrong thinking this way?
Well, first of all, it would have been great to have a millennial on the show because you're asking 2 other old farts. And I'll tell you right now, I'm with you. So, first of all, let me say this. And I'm very strong with my opinions, but I always like to be fair. Most wildfires are started by something stupid. So, they're not the only ones. But anyway, this is where I say we need to have laws and, people like this should be castrated because they certainly should not reproduce if you're that stupid. But anyway, with that being said, I don't know how anybody could even remotely think that having that much fuel near a wooded area made any kind of a sense because of your vanity, your ego, to reveal what type of mutt you're bringing into this world. I totally agree with you. And to answer your questions, when did this start and why is it necessary? I'm going to give you one reason, and that's not saying this is the only reason, but it's all about greed. It's all about greed because the earlier that you can reveal what type of demon spawn you're bringing into the world, the sooner you can tell everybody where you're registered at.
Yep.
And start getting all this stuff for the baby. There used to be a time where there was nothing more special than the element of surprise when that child came out and you knew what it was. All you cared about is that it was healthy. And if it was a girl, man, you were just excited to bring a little angel in this world. And if it was a boy, especially if you were a father, hey, I got another me, But nobody cares about that right now. We want to know early. And we want everybody else to know. And we want you to go and start getting this gift. Yeah, I'm registered at the Akron Tent Naughty, but that's different. I have to get my shirts and underwear. But that's my opinion anyway. So I think it is a millennial thing, and simply because of that reason. To get together for that purpose, to me, is stupid. I don't want to be, I'm not a hard butt or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm a sentimental guy, but to me, to get a bunch of people together for that is ridiculous. You got the baby showers. You got when the baby's being born. I mean, it's really stop. Just too much, man. So I'm right with you. Fish?
Yeah, I'm with you. I looked up on the insider.com, and when did they start? 2008, according to the insider.com. They were started by blogger and mom Jenna Karvunidis, Karvunidis.
Figures.
So she started it. So, perhaps she started it for, a way to promote her blog, a way to, participate in planning parties and whatnot to get more blog viewers, perhaps, and all that. But I tend to agree with you. It's just, and it's another reason to get people together to register for gifts and whatnot. I'm sure, listen, there's definitely I'm sure there's plenty of parties out there where people say, listen, we don't want any gifts, none of that stuff. We just want to get our family and friends together. Yep. We want you to celebrate with us. I'm sure there's plenty of parties like that where they insist on no gifts and stuff, and maybe they do that more for the showers and all that. I mean, to me, okay, all that's fine, but I don't know. It does seem like an awful lot these days. It's to where now I'm planning to have a child, and now you probably have to go through these discussions now with your significant other or whatever, or your family. Okay, do we have a gender reveal party? Do we just have a shower?
Exactly.
Do we do both and all this stuff? It's just like, like you say, just.
And I'll tell you what, Fish, I wouldn't even mind if they streamlined it a little bit and maybe announced on Facebook, you announce on this day, we'll let you know. And, red balloons popped up or pink, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. But to get people together for this, I think is really, really asinine and really stupid. I'd rather get together and see if Potomac Phil shows his head, or if we're going to know if we're going to have how many more weeks of a winter than that crap.
Yep. I don't know. Probably here to stay, though, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Probably here to stay, so we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if our kids continue that. So the millennials, maybe the Gen Z and the Y, not sure. So it'll be interesting to see.
All right, that's a great Gen X millennial thing there, Skinner. I like that. All right. Well, that's the only topic, Skinner.
I had a good week. Got a lot of outdoor stuff done, and when I bought all my shoes for the summer, and all my summer clothes, and jogging suits and shorts, and so I was glad to get that out the way on the nice days that we had. So
good.
We're going to have all 4 seasons this week, fella.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, we're going to be winter tomorrow. It's going to be summer the next day, then spring the next day, then down to fall, and vice versa. So make sure you take care of yourselves, stay warm. Don't get fooled by a little sunshine. Keep your bodies covered up, or you'll look like Skinner.
Yeah, you're right. Northeast Ohio, literally 70 degrees and sunny forecast tomorrow, and chance of snow Thursday. So this is Monday.
Great.
So Tuesday, 70 and sunny. Thursday, chance of snow, and it won't shock any of us if it actually snows. That's all right.
You know what? I taught drums today in Canton, which is normally on Tuesday, so I'm a little bit off. Okay, so I had a busy day today. I had an emergency call to teach a student who has to play a very difficult song in church. So the worship leader asked for me to come down, give him some special instruction. And since she had 2 other sons I teach, so she was like, while you're down here, might as well get those out the way instead of coming down Tuesday. And then, of course, I have other normal Monday lessons. So it's been a long day for me. I called Skinner racing up the highway and said, I'm on my way. So I haven't had anything to eat or nothing in a while, but I'm excited to be here. Cooper, our colleague, shout out to him, chomping at the bit to be on the show tonight because
he sure was.
He couldn't make it, but I'm so glad he couldn't make it. In regards to my little project that I had Saturday, I don't know why I told you guys about it, especially him. He sent me a text Saturday morning. I'm not going to even repeat what it said, but give you guys an update on my colonic.
Okay.
So a little bit of history here. 15 years ago, I studied this and I decided to get it done. And I was referred to a doctor over here on Exchange Street. 80-year-old man has a private practice in the back of his house.
No.
He had a funny sense of humor. I'm laying there on my stomach. He's back there saying stuff like, now where's this go? And stuff like that. He could not, how can I word this? He could not get it in. He said I had the smallest opening of a small intestine that he had ever seen. all my money back after 45 minutes of trying. And trust me, guys, after 15 minutes of this, it starts to get a little uncomfortable, okay?
Sure.
So it's been 15 years. I've just let it go. And the quest of getting healthier, gut health is so important. If all of you are listening, so important. I decided to look into it again and get it done. I found this place in Canton off Whipple called Hope Depot. Wonderful, wonderful woman. One of the most pleasant environments I've ever been in. Welcomed me, and we had great conversation. And I told her over the phone what happened 15 years ago. And she promised me up and down, well, you don't have the equipment I have, and I've done over 16,000 of these, and I got small these and this and that, promise you. And so I get fixed up with this apparatus, and here I have this nice-looking lady inserting this thing.
When is this again?
Huh?
When did this happen again?
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all the same day you were doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And she couldn't get it in there. She goes, well, she said, that's a curvy one. Let me get a straight one. Because sometimes your small intestine, curves around. So she got a straight one and was trying to jam it in there. And after a while, I was like, look, lady, either we have drinks or something, but, this has got to stop.
Wow.
And she was like, I've been doing this for 16 years. I've never had this happen to me before. And so I did not get it done.
Wow.
Again, 15 years later. But I did walk out with some wonderful products that have helped me for pain in my knees and such. And she referred me to a friend who has a practice that he does this thing with your eyes. And without you saying a word, he can tell you everything that's wrong with you by your eyes. And he gives you a cleanse from top to bottom through herbs. So I think I'm going to give him a try since we can't do it from the other end. So
we can tell you everything is wrong with you for free.
You know what? I know you can. Appreciate it. I say, why don't you guys put it in some notes for me?
Number one, you fall for this hippie health stuff. That's your first problem. and we're going to offer up
need to clean it out more than all of us, Fisher.
Yep. We're going to offer up a special It Came From GenX episode where Skinner, Coop, and I we're going to get that cleanse.
We're going to have an intervention.
That's
of
right.
Sorts.
Literally. Yep. It's going to happen.
I'm still running out the road. I'm running out the road. All right. Anyway, again, welcome to our listeners, especially those listening to us here at WMBU.org, Internet Free Radio. We welcome you. And Fisher, tell them where else they can catch us.
Yes. You can catch us at the Hope Clinic.
All right. My next topic here, and I just wanted to breaking news kind of thing that the cargo ship Evergreen freed itself from the banks of the Suez Canal today after 5 days of being stuck. What could have very well been a huge disaster was averted, thankfully. And time will tell to see how much of an impact this is going to be especially over in Europe with the goods, because they're saying there's 200 vessels on both the north and south side of that ship that have been stuck for the 5 days trying to get through, and they can't just back out and go around because they were saying there was other ships that were being averted around the tip of South Africa, but that's another 7 to 10 days travel time. That's why they take the Suez Canal, because it cuts like 6 days of travel time off. So
that's why it was built.
So it's a story that me and Marcy have kind of kept up with since it broke. I think it was Thursday that it happened, and we're just in awe of how that all happened. I'm curious to see a video, and I want to find it. Video of actually watching that thing come away from it and start heading out again. I'm sure it's out there. I just haven't found it yet. You guys hear about that story?
Is it out completely? I heard it.
Yes, it is moving. They're going to a lake that's attached to the canal, it's going to go through a full inspection before it can go out to its destination.
Maneuvering that thing out. I mean, I'm seeing comparisons of Keith and the colonic and trying to. Physics and
I gotcha. It don't fit. It don't fit.
Couple tugboats in there trying to get things moving around.
Why did I tell you guys that?
If we lift this up here, we turn this one this way.
All right, okay, we get it. And Mikey Jr., you add any sound effects or any stuff, so help me, I'm coming to Seattle.
We're going to call you the canal.
Oh, no.
The Suez Canal or whatever. What's yeah.
Yeah, because you can't get a ship through there either.
That's right.
Okay.
Anyways, all right, that's good.
I don't know too much about it. I just know that the implications from this are going to reach far for a long time. I know Egypt is already talking about seeking compensation for a long time, and there's going to be all sorts of things happen from this. So I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it, man. It's just crazy. It reminds me of the Valdez, when the oil tanker when it hit, and we're still
investigate. They'll investigate if it's a human. They say there's some human error, a sandstorm / human error or something like that. So
I guess
they'll look into it.
They said a sandstorm was pretty bad, but it could have been avoided, as I'm also hearing. So be curious to see what happens.
All right. The news is kind of light this week. We could always talk about COVID-19 and this, that, and other, but we probably talked a lot about that last week. So thought I'd hold off on that. There's a lot going on. New Johnson & Johnson came out, and they're talking about these new strands coming out. So we'll hold off on that. Maybe we'll bring that topic back up again here in another couple of weeks. We'll see how things go on. But there was a study done out in the UK about young men. The young grasshoppers out there, not us Gen X,
not me,
not us Gen X types. But the study had said that they have given up on sex with women in order to play more video games out there.
Stop it.
Shocking, isn't it? Absolutely shocking.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm going to need about 20 more minutes.
There is, and there's in the story. Obviously, you got comments out there and all that. And one comment that I thought was interesting is come from a person who says, "I play video games all day with instant access to smut online. Why do I need to go out and risk things trying to find a women or a woman when I have everything I need at home?"
Mm-hmm.
Wow! I thought not only was that interesting, but as a Gen X guy, I'm like, I just don't have that capability to think that way. But I see where it's coming from, especially with today's day and age. And I definitely want to get your guys' opinion on the subject matter. Probably going to be pretty close to mine, but I would be curious to see what you guys have to say. Porter, let's start with you.
Wow, fascinating. Okay, you heard me sound kind of shocked at first when I heard this. So now I'm thinking about it here for a few minutes. And I think it's important that we differentiate. Ooh, that was a big one. Between sex and relationships. So
yes,
when I think about it, it's probably a good idea that you're playing video games as opposed to just having random sex. I would prefer that with my son. However, if you are substituting meeting women and having relationships and growing as a person, I think that's pretty sad, and there's no substitute for that. I think it's just more and more of the antisocial behavior that we see in millennials. Everything's done on computer. People are expressing themselves more through avatars than they are talking to other human beings and things of that nature. We have a sad generation of where we don't talk to one another anymore. I sit in the doctor's office in the lobby, and there's 10 people in there, and everybody's like this on their phone. And I purposely start conversations with people. Like, come on, what is this? Keep to myself, blah 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 attitude. And it's not always millennials either. I see older people too.
Uh-huh.
So, on that note, I don't think it's healthy. If this substituting relationships, but as far as the sex thing, help yourself.
Yeah, and I think maybe they're saying finding sex with women. It's probably relationship based sex. They don't need a woman. They would rather play video games all day long, and then instead of conversing with people. So
it sounds like the kind of people we don't want. We don't want them to procreate anyway, so it's probably good.
Yeah, and you ask me, would I rather want to spend time next to Marcy and conversing with her, or playing a video game? There's no comparison. Even though we loved video games as kids, I'm not a kid anymore. I want to grow as a person. I want to grow as a human being. We're in a relationship. I want our relationship to grow. I've never been happier in my adult life than I am right now with Marcy. Why would I want to jeopardize, or why would I want to do something else when I'm growing and being happy this way? Right. So like I said, I cannot grasp the thought and the process on that thought process. Right. Fish, what do you think?
I thought I was in a relationship with Marcy, but whatever. We'll talk later.
Well, now, the new PS gaming system. Now, let me just lay this out here for you. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, boy.
It's a joke.
No way. You were scaring me there, buddy, for a minute.
No.
Yeah, he got all serious on us there for a second.
It's a joke. Well, yeah, these guys are experts at using joysticks. Thank you so much. There you go. There you go, Keith. There you go, Keith.
I knew it was in there somewhere.
Yep. That's the first joke that popped in my mind earlier. No, I tend to agree with you, and it's like I don't know that it's necessarily a worry. I don't know. It's like there's definitely been a downturn of new babies during the pandemic. I think some people thought that you might see an uptick in births during the pandemic, and that really hasn't been the case, probably in part because people just are afraid to get out, and are you trying to meet people during a pandemic and this and that and the other. But if you're couples at home, you're not having kids necessarily. It's already you can go off in a lot of different directions with this. Sure. With it's harder to make ends meet these days. People are already more reluctant to have children because it's the financial support. People are working 2 incomes to support a home. But you're right, just the younger generation of the effort to go out and meet people. Are those the guys you wouldn't necessarily just running around and like you said, Keith, having random stuff? Probably not. Having kids out there that
see who these guys are. They're probably guys that don't have the game to talk to a woman in the first place.
It's possible, certainly, but yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens in the future if we do indeed continue to see a downturn in new births because of all of this, and then the lack of social skills, like you mentioned, Keith, too. So yeah, I don't know, yeah. But you're right. The one of the most beautiful things, as we all are fortunate to have experienced, is to be in a loving relationship with a significant other who, like you said, Keith, helps you learn and grow, and and grow old with. And these are things that you hope that people don't, not go
miss
after. And
right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know.
I on a personal note, I have a serious problem with grown men that sit around and play video games all day. I just really do. Just get a life, I mean, there's more to life. Nothing wrong with playing video games, but I know guys that call off work to play Call of Duty all day. It's like, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
No, I gotcha. And you talk about lack of social skills. Why do they have lack of social skills? It's because they're behind a freaking computer or behind a screen all day long.
Yeah.
So they don't have that interaction with human beings, male, female. And this study, and you could even transport young men and switch that to young women, because there are women gamers out there that are the same way. Mm-hmm. They're just as lost out there, in my opinion, as the men are.
And I find that even more interesting.
Yeah.
I got
it. So all you kids out there listening and watching, don't forego a loving relationship for video games. That is a lonely, empty life. You may think you're having fun right now, but you're going to turn around and be a lonely older person someday, and
Yeah.
You know,
Gonna,
so pay
gonna
attention.
say, what the hell did I miss, or what am I missing? And it's gonna hit you, and at that point, it's probably too late. I hate to say it. But,
That's right. Anyway, Skinner, do you want to take us out, sir? Please.
We can do that, folks. Appreciate your listen once again. It's been great honor sharing the screen and the mic with you, gentlemen. I thoroughly enjoy doing this each week, and I hope our listeners, if they don't agree with everything, I hope they can take what we say and agree with certain parts, and we can give aspects that they may not have thought about when they hear these stories in their own rights. But so for
I have no idea what you just said. I just want to make that clear. I have no idea what you...
We have our own opinions. A lot of times our opinions are different.
Yeah.
But if somebody has their own thought on a subject, we're hoping that the information that we're providing can give them an avenue to rethink it, is what I guess what I'm getting at. But with that being said,
Mike Jr., you have some editing to do.
Yeah, right. No kidding. So for Keith Porter and Brian Fisher, I'm getting the hell out of here for the week. We will see you guys next week. Take care, folks.
Bid you very well, everybody.
What would I do without
Stay
you?
strong.